Hi, this is today's news. Welcome to Easy IAS. Today's news. Okay, this is the Hindu. So, what is that Hindu main headings is that? So, Covishield Covaxin mix gives better protection, says ICMR. So, it means the vaccination of Covaxin and Covishield. So, what is the news is about 18 persons from UP who inadvertently got the combination were studied. Okay. So what happened with that study is that the combination of Covishield and Covaxin elicits better immunity, better immunogenicity than two doses of the same vaccine. The Indian Council of Medical Research said on Sunday. The council released its findings, which suggest that immunization with a combination of an adenovirus vaccinator platform based vaccine followed by an platform based upon followed by an inactivated whole virus vaccine was not only safe but also elicited better immunogenicity. The immunization program against COVID-19 in India started with two vaccines, that is AstraZeneca's Covaxin and COVID-19 named Covishield in India and inactivated whole variant BB5152 Covaxin, a homologous prime boost approach was followed. So this is the this can be the prelim questions of any little exam. That is what is the name of Covishield and what is the name of Covaxin. Okay, so that is it. Then a preprint report. However, 18 individuals in Uttar Pradesh under the national program inadvertently received Covishield as the first jab and Covaxin as the second. In its study, the ICMR compared the safety and immunogenicity profile of these persons against that of individual is receiving only one of the vaccines, either Covishield or Covaxin. Okay, the preprint report titled is that Serenotipitus COVID-19. Okay, Serenotipitus COVID-19. Okay, so completed COVID-19 Indian safety and immunogenicity assessment of a heterologous regime has not been certified by peer review and should not be used to guide clinical practice, the council said. It, however, maintained that the findings have an important implication for the COVID-19 vaccination program, wherein heterologous immunization will pave the way for induction of improved and better protection against the variant strains of SARS-CoV-2. Okay, such mixed regimes will also help to overcome the challenges of a shortfall of a particular vaccines and move hesitancy around the vaccines in people's mind that could have a genesis in programmatic errors, especially in settings where multiple COVID-19 vaccines are being used. However, to conclusively prove these findings, a multi-center RCT needs to be carried out, the ICMR said. Okay, previously the World Health Organization had warned against mixing of vaccines, saying there is very little information on the mix and match of vaccines, etc. Okay, so this is about the Covaxin and Covishield. Both are give the better result of that. So here the study was here. The important points is that the study was conducted on 18 people who inadvertently received Covishield as the first dose and Covaxin as the second dose. Okay, it compared the safety and immune response generated in them with that in individuals who received both doses of the same vaccine 40, and those who received different vaccines also showed superior immunogenicity against the Delta variant success. So this can be helpful to Delta variant. Okay, the persons were a part of both groups, etc. The neutralizing antibody response of the group which received the two different vaccines was significantly higher compared to that in groups that received 2 doses of the same vaccine, etc. Okay. Then next news is about human rights at risk in police stations, CJI. So this is another important article. So what he said, it is Ramana flags routine custodial torture. This is regular this is about custodial torture. So what happened is that Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana Ansari said police stations pose the highest threat to human rights and dignity which are sacrosanct. The threat to human rights and bodily integrity is the highest in police stations. Going by recent reports, even the privileged are not spared third degree treatment. The Chief Justice said custodial torture and police atrocities still prevail despite constitutional guarantees. He said a word of advice, what he said, that lack of effective legal representation at police stations is a huge deterrent to arrested or detained persons. The first 4 hours of arrest or detention often decide the fate of the case for the accused. The CJI said he was speaking at the release of the National Legal Services Authority's Legal Services app and vision statement at Vigyan Bhavan. Chief Justice Ramana had a word of advice for his fellow judges. He noted that if the judiciary wants to gain the trust of the poor and the vulnerable, it has to assure the marginalized that it exists for them. Okay, so he said that. So what he said, that if we want to remain as a society governed by the rule of law, it is imperative for us to bridge the gap of accessibility to justice between the high privileged and the most vulnerable for all times to come. We must remember that the realities of socio-economic diversity which prevail in our nation cannot ever be a reason for denial of rights. So anyway, Ramana, Chief Justice of India. Okay, so he said like that. Then next news is that economic blockade of Mizoram lifted. That means what is happened here is the economic blockade of Mizoram was lifted late on Saturday after more than 4 hours of talks between the people of Lailapur, 2 Assam ministers and officials. Officials said 9 goods trucks stranded at Lailapur in southern Assam's Sachar district proceeded to Mizoram on National Highway 306 after the locals were assured of justice for the death of 6 Assam policemen and a civilian killed in firing allegedly by Mizoram police personnel and armed civilians on July 26. Lailapur is the last Assam town near the border with Mizoram. The sentiment of the local people is very strong. They relented after more than 270 hours of discussion in the greater interest of relations between the two sister states and peace in the area. Assam's Urban Development Minister Ashok Singhal told the Hindu. So this is the next news, and we'll see the next news is about the Hindu. Next news. Okay, Taliban says 3 more Afghan cities. So this is important. No, not important. They're related to UPSC and monsoon boost. Okay, this is also not an important. And DGMA orders implementation of GRAP for COVID-19 management. Okay, so this is about city. This is about city. Delhi gets its first animal DNA lab set up at Rohini. This is another important. So what is the India first capital on Saturday and Sunday got an animal DNA laboratory set up at the forensic science laboratory in Rohini. Before this, samples used to be sent to other states that have animal DNA testing facilities for the test results. Sometimes the process delayed investigations. It will be helpful for the Delhi police for a timely disposal of cases related to cow slaughter, illegal trade of animals, and other animal related cases. Director Deepa Verma said the types of evidence analyzed by our forensics lab include any part of an animal including blood and tissue samples, carcasses, hair, teeth, bones, contents, etc. She added, our experts shall analyze the DNA to provide information about the identity of your sample. Some answers that DNA tests may provide identification, characterization of the relationships between the animals, and evaluation of two different samples in order to determine if they originated from the same individual. Now the laboratory can examine the identity, identify the animal species of meat products, frozen meat packing, and slaughter classes, and more. Assistant Professor Dr. Rajnish Singh said the main challenge witnessed by a forensic scientist is identifying a particular species from crime scene evidence. It is very difficult for a scientist to distinguish if a piece of flesh is found at the scene is crime is from a protected animal like an elephant or a tiger, etc., or if it becomes from a non-protected animal. Now this new wing of animal DNA shall address these requirements, etc. Okay, then next Hindu News is reply to plea alleging insurance did not reimburse COVID-19 treatment amount. No, not an important related to shelter home residents. This is also not. So next, what is this?